Hi friends, welcome to my channel Agri Achievers, a smart way to success. Today friends we are discussing agronomy part 1. As I said, I will give you the topics according to the topic wise and part wise. So today we are discussing agronomy. Okay friends, before starting agronomy I want to tell you one thing friends, that is everyone have a material, right? And topic wise and you know how the material is, and you everyone have a material in the form of books like Nimraj Sundas Glance at Agriculture, or some other books are there. In that there will be a paragraphs and you have to study as per the paragraph in the agriculture topic, right friends? Now I am telling the classes, I am not just explaining the that paragraphs, I am telling how the questions came from that paragraph, how the questions may be modified from that paragraph. That is the way of teaching of my style friends. So let's start the agronomy part 1 friends. See friends, this is agronomy introduction, and here in the first line there is a question. Agronomy friends, agronomy is derived from a Greek word agros meaning field and nomos meaning to manage. Okay friends, you everyone knows this. And father of agronomy is Peter de Crescent. You also know it. Agronomy is branch of agricultural science which deals with principles and practices of soil, water and crop management. Okay friends, until then it is very good. Agronomy deals with methods which provide favorable environment to the crop for higher productivity. Okay. Agronomists aim to obtain maximum production at minimum cost. This is the point friends. Maximum production at minimum cost. What is the aim of the agronomist? Or what is the aim of a farmer? He has to put less inputs, less input cost friends, minimum cost he has to put, and get maximum profits. That is everyone's aim of the agriculture friends. This is the point. And consumption ratio, here see friends, consumption ratio, we know that NPK is most essential for our crops. So consumption ratio as per the NPK, as per India, in India we are using NPK in the ratio of 6:7, 2:4 and 1 friends. This is the actually we are using this type of consumption at field level friends. This is field level. And but desirable ratio, what the Indian soils need is 4:2:1 is enough for the Indian soils, but we are using excess fertilizers friends. The required N and P fertilizers are produced in our country while K fertilizers are imported. See friends, K fertilizers is not available in our country, so we have to import K fertilizers. And next, watershed program for soil and moisture conservation have been taken by Anna Hazare in Maharashtra, Ralegaon Siddhi, Rajendra Singh in Rajasthan. Okay friends, Anna Hazare in Maharashtra and Rajendra Singh in Rajasthan. Watershed program for soil and moisture conservation has taken by Anna Hazare. Okay friends, and this is agroclimatic zones of India friends. Here the question arises in the first paragraph. I have said, based on criteria of homogeneity in agro characteristics such as, these are the important points friend, how the agroclimatic zones are classified or they are made by, which category the agroclimatic zones of India are classified, and they given options: rainfall, temperature, soil topography, cropping and farming systems and water resources. Like they have given options. In those options, one option was given, that soil temperature. See friends, but that is not the criteria of agroclimatic zones classification in India. So we have to keep that option as this is the not a, he given the questions that which of the following is not the criteria for the classification of agroclimatic zones of India. And in the options they have given rainfall, temperature, soil topography, cropping and cropping pattern. And the answer is cropping pattern friends, and divided into 15 agroclimatic zones. This is the direct question friends. 15 agroclimatic regions has divided by in India by who has divided this 15, my friends? Planning Commission. Planning Commission has divided this 15 agroclimatic regions, friends. And during which, this is the important point, 1988 7th 5-year plan. In 7th 5-year plan 1988, Planning Commission has divided India into 15 agroclimatic regions based on the criteria of homogeneity in agro characteristics, right friends? But according to NARP ICAR, and here the question arises from, friends, according to NARP, how many agroclimatic zones are there in India, or dash agroclimatic zones are there in India? And those answer is, friends, 131, and the options are given 121, 111, 110, like this options are given, and the 131 is the correct option, friends. And here, friends, the agroclimatic zones in India, agroclimatic regions in India. First we have to see here, friends, we have to keep in mind that old map is the basic criteria for the agroclimatic zones to identify, friends. If old map is in our mind, then it is easy to classify the agroclimatic zones. And that there is also a reason, friends. They ask only one particular state, friends. Here we see Northwest Mountain Region 1, and this one is at Kashmir. You have to remember that Northwestern Mountain Region is in Kashmir. The Northeastern Hill Region, see friends, here Northeastern, here there is Northeastern, friends. That means if we know that reasoning direction, we keep this north, south, west and east, friends. This is the reasoning directions, friends. And here he asked Northeastern Hill Regions. That means Northeast. We know that Northeast is nothing but Manipur, Meghalaya, Arunachal Pradesh. They all comes under Northeast as per our map, right friends? Yamuna Plain region, Sutlej Yamuna Plain region. See here, friends, Sutlej Yamuna Plain region is below the Kashmir. That region is Sutlej Yamuna region. Upper Ganga Plain region. See, friends, here Upper Ganga Plain region. Upper, friends. Fourth one is upper. See, friends, Ganga starts from here and follows here and ends in the here. This is the direction of Ganga river, friends. And they asked that upper Ganga region. Here is the upper Ganga region, which comes in this middle Ganga region, and this part is middle Ganga region, friends. This part comes under this region. Okay, friends. And lower Ganga plain region, here is the lower Ganga plain region, which is West Bengal, comes under this. And southeastern plateaus like Andhra Pradesh comes under this, friends. Aravalli Malwa Plains, the Maharashtra plateau region, the Deccan interior region, as per the map, the Gujarat region, Western Rajasthan region and Andaman Nicobar Islands here, like this, eastern coastal region, Deccan interior, all these are included in this map, friends. There is not much important, so I am skipping this topic, friends. And here is the important points, friends, I want to discuss with this. Okay, friends, they didn't ask directly that which region, Western Himalaya region is where and Eastern Himalaya region is where, in which state included this. They didn't ask that direct questions, friends. Here is the important points which I have taken from those agroclimatic zones, friends. See, friends, Western Himalayan region, and in these Western Himalayan regions there is highest area under forests, friends. So 45.3% area is under forest, and the question came from here, in which agroclimatic region the highest area under forest is there, and the option must be Western Himalaya region, friends. Okay, friends, here is the option. Here, having high rainfall and high forest cover. See, friends, here in which region there is a high rainfall and high forest cover. And Western Himalayas and Eastern Himalayas, there is a difference. In Western Himalayan regions, there is a difference that highest area under forest. That means highest area, forest have area is more. Yes, friends, in eastern Himalayan regions having high rainfall and high forest cover, that means land for the forest is compared to this region. Within that region, the high forest cover is there. But in western Himalayan regions, highest area under forest, that means forest area is highest in the country, friends. That's why that is the difference we have to seen in this two. Okay, friends, and shifting cultivation, Jum cultivation, they said that shifting cultivation means changing the land, friends. If one crop is sown in one land, after cultivation of that crop, that land is left over and shifted to the new land, friends. That is shifting cultivation. As practiced in nearly one third of the cultivated area, has caused denudation and degradation of soils, with the resultant heavy runoff, massive soil erosion, floods in lower reaches and basins. Okay, friends. Here, Transgangetic Plains, friends. In Transgangetic Plains, the major characteristic of this area is having highest net sown area. See, friends, highest irrigated area, least poverty level, highest crop intensity and high groundwater. Everything is high. It is Punjab region, friends. Transgangetic Plains. Okay, friends. Whatever the highest it is Transgangetic Plains except forest cover and forest area. Right, friends? And Western Plateau and Hills. This zone is known for the best quality oranges, friends. Here question arises what? In which region, agroclimatic zones, the best quality oranges are there? Dash region is having best quality oranges. These are the questions, friend, came from this. Grapes and bananas. The area under fruit crop is 1 lakh hectares. Farmers are adopting sprinkler and the drip method of irrigation, particularly for fruits and vegetable crops. Okay. West Coast plains and ghats. This zone is important for multi-stored cropping. See, friends, multi-stored cropping. West Coast plains and ghats. There, multi-stored cropping is there, friends. Tillage and tilth. Here, you know that everything. I am just keeping this slide and see, friends. Tillage means physical manipulation of soil with tools and implements. Tilth means physical condition of soil resulting from tillage. Okay, friends. Here the important one is Jethro Tull, who is the father of tillage, and he has used this weed and tillage words in his book Horse Hoeing Husbandry. Okay, friends. That's why Jethro Tull is called as father of tillage. And these are the objectives of tillage, friends. And here, according to this, the question comes, which of the following is not a objective of tillage? Okay, friends, they give here which of the following is not the objective of tillage. They ask the questions and they trickily converted that here increase infiltration rate. In the options they given the option that to decrease infiltration rate, friends. Okay, friends, and here to warm up the soil they change it as to cool the soil. To aerate the soil they change it as to degrade the soil. Okay, friends, to expose the soil, inhibit them to pathogens and insect pests to suns and kill them, they given them as to increase the soil inhibiting pathogens. Like that, they changes in between words, friends, not complete sentence, they changes in between words. Okay, friends, hence you have to keep remembering all these things and you have to go through, friends. Okay, friends, these are the effects of tillage on soil physical properties. Soil structure, friends. What happens if we do tillage to the soil? Okay, friends, tillage improves soil structure, friends. We know that when done at optimum soil moisture level. Tilling a soil when it is too wet spoils the structure. Plowing in a dry soil is difficult and will not help in improving structure. Okay, friends, soil texture. Tillage has no effect on the soil texture, friends. And here is the soil texture. And see, friends, these are the textures of the soil. So you have to remember a code GCFSC. Okay, friends, GCFSC is the code is here 2 to 1 point is increased and 0 is added, 0.000 like this. GC, granular coarse fine sand soil clay. GCFSC is the code for remembering these things. Direct question came from here, friends. What is the size of a coarse sand? They are directly asked the question and given these options, friends. So you have to compulsorily remember this. And after doing tillage, pore spaces. When a field is plowed, the soil particles are loosely arranged. Okay, friends. The pore spaces facilities free movement of air and moisture in soil. And bulk density, friends. Here, see, when soil is loosened, the soil volume increases. Hence, bulk density of tilled soil is less than that of untilled soil. Here, simply in the bulk density is decreases. Particle density is not altered. You have to see this, friends. There is no change in the particle density. They asked the question like this, friends. When the tillage is done to a field, then what is the effect on the particle density? They ask the question like this, friends, and given the options like increases, decreases, no, not affected, none of the above, like this, friends. You have to keep an option as not affected. Okay, friends. Soil color, tillage increases organic oxidation and decomposition of organic matter, resulting in fading of color. Soil color is faded, friends. Thank you, friends. Thank you for watching my video, and another part will be of agronomy is coming soon. Please friends, like and subscribe my channel, and thank you very much.